just 3 ingredients: apple juice, a cinnamon stick, and apples. And we'll go ahead, I'll show you some of it, and I've got it takes a little bit too long to make from start to finish. So we'll get it started, and then you can see what I did. Well, I've got the finished product over here. So 2 cups of apple juice and a cinnamon stick. I'm going to turn that on so it kind of get it ready to boil. And now with your apple, I used the Red Delicious. You can really use whatever kind of apples you like. I like this one because of the apples slices aren't too big. Sometimes just because of the shape of the apple, you know, that rounder apples, they would be bigger shapes. Okay. This is, let me put my glass on. This is the trickiest part because you want these apple slices thin. And if you had, the name of those things just slipped my mind. What do you call that? One of those slicer things are really dangerous, but yes. All right, if you don't have that, you got to do this. You're going to just cut a big slice off that so we get rid of kind of like that little end piece, and slice it as thin as you can. You don't have to worry about coring it or seeding it. The boiling it in the juice and then baking it kind of softens all that up. And you might have to turn the apple around a little bit to kind of keep the slices even. If you've ever done, I used to do crafts with dried apple slices. I must have dried about 5 million slices of apple, it seems like. Maybe it wasn't quite that many, maybe it was only 2 million. And if you have a dehydrator, this would be wonderful. If you're watching TV late at night, Ronco has one of those dehydrators. Like now you can buy them at the stores. But they use the same kind of heat. The skin's tough. Okay, when you feel like you're going to get your fingers cut, stop. And get another apple. Okay. That's pretty good. So it makes quite a few slices, as you can see. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in here. The apple juice isn't quite ready yet, but we'll go ahead and put those in. And that's all you do. Because they're going in the apple juice like this, you don't need to put them in any water or salt water or lemon juice or anything like that. And then when they come to a boil, we'll pull them out, dry them off, and put them on a rack. Okay.
What do you do about the seeds?
The seeds will drop down to the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you don't have to seed it. The seeds will just in the whole process will start falling out. Okay, so we'll wait for that to boil. And then when we get those out, we're just going to take them off. We're going to put them on a rack, dry them off, put them on a rack, and then we're going to stick them in the oven. Now this is 1 apple. I've already had it in the oven for I think it was about 35 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that. And you can see the difference in when I was really good and cut the apple really thin, they're a little bit more crisp. This is a hard thing to do when it's really humid out because they'll never crisp up, or they won't stay crispy very long. And you're just going to put them in the oven at 250, right on the rack so it does both sides of it, and just let them dry out. And then you've got dried apple slices. You haven't really added anything. You've used the unsweetened apple juice to, give it a little bit more flavor, kind of give it a little coating with the cinnamon, giving it a little bit of flavor, and it's basically just an apple. So that's a good little snack. You can buy them down here. Now you know how to make them. So, and if, like I said, if you have a dehydrator, it's really good because you can put them on. That they're round, and you just lay them on the different trays and just let it go until you feel like they're ready. So a good little snack, but we'll look at those when we get them boiling here. I would do that. That just is going to give them a little more flavor. Dehydrating depends on, you know, your dehydrator. You're still talking about, when I used to do it, I liked them really, really dry, because when you have them like this, when you're drying anything, when you get it back out in the air, it's going to pick up moisture. So I like to keep them really, really dry. So it might take, you know, a day, you know, 24 hours. It might take 18. You know, I used to check them and see, because the ones on the bottom, of course, where the heat element is, are going to dry faster than the ones on the top. So, you know, reversing the trays or whatever, it was a whole process. So. Oh, these would last if you put them in like a Ziploc bag. The only problem that you're going to have is if they're dry. The only problem you're going to have is getting any moisture in them. And this one, I was going to see if I have any really hard ones. Now, I guess, see, I may put these back in the oven for a little bit, and you can see if they're really dry, just stick them in a Ziploc bag. You might have a little bit more trouble. This is a little bit more, has a little bit more moisture in it. You'd have to watch out for the mold on something like that. But if you kept them in the refrigerator, you know, they would last for a long time. I'll go ahead and stick this in the oven so you can see. It's a little bit warmer than I would like. But, and like I said, it goes right on the rack, whatever kind of rack you have. I know I like this method. You can also put them on a cookie sheet with some brown paper, you know, if you can find brown paper bags. Parchment paper, no. You really want something that's going to absorb the moisture. So parchment paper won't do that, so you have to use like a paper bag or whatever. And just put them on the cookie sheet like that. That works too. But I like the air can circulate around here. So do that.
Can you dry any other fruit like that?
You can, whatever. If you whatever you have. You want to do pears. Peaches might take a little bit longer to do that. You know, it's going to depend on the moisture in the fruits. You can do all fruit this. Would you have to put it in this? No. In fact, you don't even have to do this for the apples. But that's just going to give it a little bit more flavor. So you can do it with other fruit. Just adjust the time that you're drying or heating them. All right, let me pull this out.